Well, a hearty good evening to everybody, and Happy New Year to the people of Sioux Falls and everybody else who's enjoying this program tonight. This is Sioux Falls City Council meeting of Monday, January 9th, and we're certainly pleased to have everybody here. We'll start our meeting by recognizing the city council members here tonight.
Councilors Aguilar. Here. Anderson.
Here.
Brown.
Yeah, here.
Tippleman.
Here.
Erpenbach. Here. Jameson.
Here.
Karski.
Here.
Rolfing.
Here. All 8 city councilors are here as is normal. I am so pleased to introduce Pastor Kathy Timpany. She's a friend of mine, and she's a friend of many in this community, and we're certainly blessed to have you here tonight. She is the pastor of First Congregational Church just down the road here. And what we'll do is we'll stand. Pastor Kathy will give us our invocation. And then if you would remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, we'd certainly appreciate it. Pastor Kathy.
Will you be in a spirit of prayer with me? O God of all nations and peoples, we are grateful for the dreams of freedom, justice, and peace forever spun by your Spirit in our communities. We are grateful that you call us all to lift up and live by those dreams, to embody them in our society. And we ask the questions and make the choices that come before us in our common life. We ask for your prayers, for your guidance and your courage, so that in every choice we face and every opportunity that comes before us, we can act to expand compassion, ease discrimination, and increase the chance to thrive for all whom we serve, both those whose names we know and those whose names are still unknown to us. May we serve you and one another with enthusiasm and joy, remembering that we are all a part of your wonderful human family. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you so much. Council will move on to the consent agenda. Are there any changes to the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I'd move approval.
Second.
Councilor Box made a motion to approve, seconded by Councilor Jameson.
Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to move to amend the consent agenda by removing fiscal committee meeting of Tuesday, January 3rd, 2012 at 5:35 p.m. from the minutes.
Very good. Is there a second?
Second, Erpenbach.
Councilor Box seconded that motion. Is there any discussion on that? Roll call vote, please.
Councilors Anderson.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Intiman.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Aguilar.
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Any further changes? We have an amended motion on the consent agenda. If we could have a roll call vote, please.
Councilors Anderson.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Intiman.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Aguilar.
Yes.
That is also passed 8-0. Thank you. Now move on to the regular agenda. Council, any changes to that?
Move approval, Erpenbach.
Second, Anderson.
Councilor Box made a motion to approve tonight's regular agenda, seconded by Councilor Anderson Jr. Any changes there, Councilor
Yes,
Box?
Mr. Mayor, I'd move to remove item 14 at the request of the petitioner.
Second, Aguilar.
There has been a motion to remove item number 14 on tonight's agenda, and seconded by Councilor Aguilar. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilors Anderson.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Intiman.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Aguilar.
Yes.
And that is passed 8-0. Any other changes? Very good. Could we have a roll call, please, on tonight's agenda?
Councilors Anderson.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Intiman.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Aguilar.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0 as well. Well, great. We do have some folks here in the audience tonight, and we appreciate you being here. This is an opportunity for you to engage your council. What we'd ask is that just come forward, just speak your name and introduce yourself to the people of Sioux Falls. And then one thing that we would again ask is that if you please keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. We do have Sue here tonight to kind of help us with that effort. But again, we're certainly pleased to have you here. If you do have something you'd like to talk about that's later on in the agenda, we'd ask you to save that until that particular part of the evening. But please come forward and welcome. Mr. Weiderman.
Yes, I'm Ariel Weiderman from Sioux Falls. One thing I would like, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. One thing that I would like to point out, it was pointed out to me this morning by an attorney, if somebody talks for 5 minutes and they go sit down and 2 or 3 people come up, there is nothing to keep them from coming back up here for another 5 minutes. Just thought I'd point that out because it was researched. Another thing is on your bonding of the event center. We are trying to figure out how you will be able to bond something that if you default on, the bonding company will not be allowed to go into the court because of the home rule situation that I was caught up in. Another thing, I think that Mr. Jameson is owed an apology by some of the members that you appointed to this power-grabbing committee, or whatever you want to call it. I do not think that that the rules or the charter needs to be changed the way a certain individual wants it to be changed. That's you, Mayor, that want the charter changed so you can control the city as a dictator. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weiderman. Have a good night. Is there anyone else who wanted to address the council?
Tim Stanga. Boy, I remember when this was voted on with the city council on being able to look at how things are bid, being able to look at the bidding process, be able to accept bids, to be able to not accept bids. The mayor wasn't impressed at it at all. He showed it, and this reminds me of what's happening with the extra penny sales tax that's going on, and that's going to be voted on by the people. The school system couldn't get extra funding through the state of South Dakota, so what we want to do is bypass the legislature and the Senate, and we want to put it to the vote of the people. This is the same thing. The mayor didn't see his way through the city council because the city council stood up and said, no, we want to look at the bids. We want to be able to see what's coming through and to be able to accept them or not accept them. Now the mayor is bypassing what the city council has done and put it to the vote of the people. Outside these walls, they listen to a lot of people. I want to know what's being bid in this town. I want to know how my money's being spent. The only way that I find out is when I come and sit in front of you guys and listen to what you guys have to say. I don't believe that one person should be put in charge of being able to make the decision on what money goes, where money goes, the contracts, and how things are done. I read into this article. I didn't get to watch this on the internet. I wish I could have went to the meeting. But again, when people have questions and they want answers, or if they have some kind of opinion, the opinions are put aside, the questions are put aside. I'm just reading in between the lines on what Jameson was going to bring in 5 different comments or, ideas for the commission. Well, it states that most of them weren't listened to. That really doesn't surprise me. Because when are we going to, as a city and as city council and the mayor's office, going to put common people on these committees? I am tired of people being hand-picked by either the mayor's office or special people on the city council. I think that it should be common people. I think it should be people with common sense. There are people that do lack common sense, and there are people that are told, this is the way I want you to think, this is what I want you to do, and let's do it. We can strong-arm people all we want, but until we start bringing people together, it's not going to work. I hate to see with the entertainment center on what people are going to be picked on those committees. I would like to see the list after they are picked to find out who they are, and then hopefully there's common people on that committee. That's hard-working Sioux Falls people that work for $10 or less an hour, because I think they should be involved. I'm tired of how things are being done. I've sat back too long, and I'm not going to do it anymore. Things have to be done different in this town, and I'm not going to sit and watch it happen anymore.
Mr. Stinga, thank you. I think folks know where you stand. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. Welcome.
Good evening.
Go ahead, Andy. We're ready for you.
Just waiting for something.
We're ready for you.
She's pulling something up for
I
me.
will call this meeting to order. For those of you,
Sure.
Move that we postpone indefinitely 202, 203, and 303.
okay, can I have a second?
Second. Give you.
Discussion? Dee?
Question. Mr. Robinson, would you just help me on the, did you mean,
Postpone indefinitely. Want me to read the clarification on postpone indefinitely?
okay,
Postpone indefinitely. I used to be in charge of Robert's Rules of Order, so I'm pretty familiar with most of these. I'll read it to you. This is to kill the motion, and the motion cannot be reintroduced at this meeting. It would have to be discussed at another meeting.
Good, thank you.
okay, and, Madam Chair?
That incident should embarrass us.
Sir, if you could just introduce yourself
I'm
for the
Andy
people of Sioux
Traub.
Falls, please.
That incident should embarrass us. Not because we're citizens of Sioux Falls or we have an opinion about power grabbing. It should embarrass us because we live in a democracy. I watch the news, I listen to my NPR, I avoid Fox News. I try to keep perspective on power. And we don't shoot people here. We don't have public incidences of violence. What we have is we have a free exchange of ideas, and we have voting booths, and that's where democracy happens. I was honored to be asked to be part of a redistricting committee. It was not that exciting, but we had public input, and folks came and told us that we were wasting their time, and it was fine. We all went home, and it was okay. I have a serious problem when we, and it's really not about anyone being a city councilor, when we use a parliamentary procedure to shut down debate and to push it away. There is plenty of time and space for disagreement. And at the end of the day, this is not anything that the mayor can push through. This will be decided in the voting booth. Don't give one person too much credit. At the end of the day, it comes down to voting. But only after all the information is out. And as we can see by our media presence, they're not going to tell the stories. So I would encourage folks to get educated and to practice democracy. And I would encourage that board and those who have any control over it or input to it to practice free speech. I don't like everything you say, and you certainly don't like everything I say, but we must listen. And when we don't, the system breaks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wanted to address the council tonight? Well, very good. Thank you very much for being here, and we appreciate the comments. We'll now move on to item number 11.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinances of the city by revising Chapter 2, Administration, to change the day when council meetings are held and other council procedures.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes. Councilor
Mr. Mayor,
Brown.
I'd move that we defer action on item 11 to May 7th, 2012 meeting of the Sioux Falls City Council, and with the second, I would address that motion.
Second Aguilar.
There's been a motion to defer this item by Councilor Urbanbach, seconded by Councilor Aguilar. Councilor Urbanbach, any comments?
Councilors, this proposal originated in the offices of the mayor and the city attorney. Primarily, it was meant as a way to ease a deadline crunch that had been perceived by some city employees. The mayor, various city directors, and some city employees expressed their concerns after this council voted to return to its rightful control, the approval of all city contracts over $25,000. Contract approvals are at the very foundation of an open and transparent government. Most communities in South Dakota, in addition to Minnehaha County and the Sioux Falls School District, all list their contracts on their meeting agendas for approval by their governing boards. We learned in research leading up to this legislation that cities as large as Detroit also list all their contracts on the council agenda for public scrutiny and council approval. The process of bringing contracts back to their proper venue for approval was literally years long. I commend Councilors Brown and Jameson for the foresight to understand this action as critical to an open and truly transparent government. They knew long ago that citizens would be better served by having all contracts listed on the City Council agenda, where citizens and elected officials alike can make one simple click of a computer mouse to see the project, the amount paid for the contract, and the specific vendor. Now, that easy transparency is in danger. Last week, the Charter Revision Commission, appointed recently by the mayor, voted to put all contracts into the hands of the mayor for both negotiation and approval. Under the proposal that is being recommended for the April ballot, the City Council would have no say in the approval of contracts between the city and anyone selling goods and services to the city. The City Council would have no say in the approval of contracts regarding the management of city facilities like the new event center, the arena, the convention center, Washington Pavilion, golf courses, or Great Bear. I make the motion to defer our action on changing our meeting dates because the proposal was primarily being made as a courtesy to ease some of the deadlines for submitting material for City Council agendas. I acknowledge that there are other items in this proposal that merit our discussion, but I would respectfully ask for your support to defer all conversations until May, when we have the results of the April election, including council seats and charter revision proposals. I urge your support. Thank you.
There's been a motion to defer. Any further comments on this? A roll call vote, please.
Councilors Anderson,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Entenmann,
Yes.
Erpenbach,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Aguilar.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Item number 12.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending Chapter 18, Garbage and Recycling, by amending rates for use of the sanitary landfill and adding a waiver provision for landfill fees.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tonight, we hope to gain your support for some revisions to our garbage and recycling ordinance. The first portion is a reduction in our contaminated soils fee. Essentially, these are soils that are contaminated with petroleum, and we're proposing to reduce the fee from $15 a ton to $10 a ton. The second portion of the ordinance deals with some practices that we've done in the past to waiver landfill fees, and then also a new portion there to substantially replace the landfill fees with a grant. That results from a tire grant that we got from the state of South Dakota. The grant is in the amount of $150,000 awarded to the landfill, and essentially they'll substantially replace the $135 a ton that we would normally charge for tire disposal, and they'll replace that with $124.50 a ton. So this allows the Director of Public Works to waive the difference in the fee. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes. Councilor Rolfing?
how long will this grant last?
I believe it's through May, is that correct, Dave? Through May.
Then will you be back to us to ask us to reinstate the fee?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Will you be back to us then to reinstate the fee, or will the fee just take effect then at that time again?
This is a waiver on a conditional basis, so the fee will be
Okay.
$135
Until
in absence
the
of
grant runs out?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience who wanted to speak to
Mayor?
this item? It is a second reading. It is a second reading. Is there anyone in the audience who wanted to speak to this item? Very good. Councilor Anderson, Jr.
As far as the tire recycling, could you explain what we do with those tires that we collect?
Dave, would you? Dave McElroy, Sanitary Landfill Superintendent.
Thanks. There's a company out of Stillwater, I believe, Minnesota, Liberty Tire Recycling. They take the rubberized tires from the landfill back to their plant in Minnesota, and they chip them and grind them. They turn them into various products, landscaping, mulch, like rubber parking bumpers that your vehicle goes up against, and also, since it's the national championship, go Tide, I guess. I don't really have a horse in the race, but the AstroTurf, the artificial turf, you'll see the black powder that comes up when the players get tackled. That's actually ground rubber product as well. Rubberized asphalt would be another product that they make from that. So.
Thank you.
Council, this is a second reading. Any motions?
Move to approve Anderson.
Second, Intiman.
Councilor Anderson, Jr. has made a motion to approve item number 12, seconded by Councilor Intiman. Is there any further discussion? A roll call vote, please.
Councilors Anderson?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Intiman?
Yes.
Urbanbach?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Aguilar?
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Thank you. Item number 13.
A first reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, declaring certain real properties of the city surplus and authorizing the disposition thereof.
Hi, Mark.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Mark Cotter with the Office of Public Works. I sent an email out earlier today, and based on the number of questions that we've received internally and externally, we'd like to take some additional time and address those. And so tonight I would ask you to consider to withdraw this item, and we'll bring it back to you when we've appropriately addressed those items.
Council, is there anyone who would like to make a motion? Do we have to withdraw this item?
Rolfing, or
I should ask, do we, how do we handle this, Council?
I would make a motion to defer indefinitely.
To
Would that
withdraw?
be a,
No.
or
To defer
defer, I
or
think would
withdraw?
be a better way to do it, wouldn't it?
I think he has to withdraw.
Strong.
Or to withdraw? To withdraw?
I'm going to
Could
defer
we-
to the clerk or to the
City attorney.
David, earn your pay.
And don't say we pay you
have a
too much.
brand-new book this week, so you'll have to...
Mr. Mayor, while we wait, may I ask a couple questions?
Oh, please.
Do you want me to tap dance for a little bit? I'm
Councilor
saving you here,
Brown.
David.
Just
Councilor
don't
Brown
say.
has a couple of questions, and while we're doing that, Attorney Fifley will investigate.
Mr.
Councilor
Cotter,
Brown.
I also received, I think many of us received emails and phone calls on this, and I'm hoping that before this comes back, that we could revisit history a little bit and visit with previous administrations about the intent behind this, because I think that will bring some clarity to the issue for you and all of us, so I would encourage you to do that.
Will do.
Thank you.
Is that enough time, David?
Do you need another question, David?
Please.
I have one.
Yes, Councilor Ruffing.
How large would this lake be if it was filled up?
The original plan for Slip Up Creek Reservoir was to acquire approximately 4,000 acres. And today the city has about 16% of that, which is just over 600 acres. The water pool, even, you know, when you look at how you fill in a valley and it's got fingers that go out into all the draws, when it's at its high surface level, it's about 900 acres of surface. And then when it would get drawn down, it would actually draw down to about 200 acres of surface. And so one of the things you'll see in an impoundment like this is that when you charge it and then draw it down, that vegetation struggles, and so you'll always have a lot of dead vegetation that you always be that'll be observed, but also that you'll be managing through a water quality standpoint. But at its fullest, if you were to measure all the water surface, it'd be about 900 acres.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councilor Brown?
The land we have, I assume it generates revenue for us today?
It generates, we do have farm leases. There is
pasture land mostly, I assume.
The furthest south parcel, which is the largest, that's primarily pasture, rolling hills. As you move north, there's 4 key parcels, and they become more tillable, less non-tillable as you go north. And so, as we relook at this, we'll look at every individual parcel, and then our intent would be to bring a recommendation back to this council on either part or parcel. Okay.
Thank you.
City Attorney Fifley.
Mayor, I would respectfully request that the motion to postpone be withdrawn and that it be replaced with a motion to lay on the table, which would allow the matter to be temporarily deferred and then taken up again at a later time. And in this instance, maybe after Director Cotter's been able to gather more additional information to address some concerns raised by council and others.
I would respectfully, I think I got that, I would respectfully move that we withdraw this motion and lay it on the table indefinitely. Not indefinitely? Not indefinitely. That we just lay it on the table.
Until such time, lay it on the table means, Councilor Rolfing, that it'll be only temporary, that it'll
Right,
be...
lay it on the table. Kind of like this.
Councilor Rolfing, thank you. Is there a second to that?
Second, Aguilar.
Thank you, Councilor Aguilar. Very good. We do have a motion to lay this item on the table. It's been seconded by Councilor Aguilar. If there is no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Councilors Anderson?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Entman?
Yes.
Erkenbach? Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Aguilar?
Yes.
That is passed 8-0, and we... So if there is no additional business, yes, Councilor Entman.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a comment, if I might. I would like to thank all the citizens in Sioux Falls that step forward and serve on the respective city boards that we have. I've grown to know a lot of these people throughout the community over the years, as well as all the hard-working people of all income levels in the city of Sioux Falls, as far as the way they look and respect our city and work to make it a better place. And especially, again, I would like to commend all of those folks that serve on the volunteer boards. The pay is unbelievably volunteerism. There is no pay associated with this, and it does take time. And I believe almost all the people that I've met over the years have taken their task very seriously, and I'd like to thank them.
Very good. Is there any way that I could pass the gavel to Council Chair Aguilar?
Yeah.
Thank you. With your permission, I just wanted to respond to an inquiry by a gentleman in the audience today, Mr. Stenga, just to try to give you some insight in terms of how the process actually works, Mr. Stenga, because you're far from understanding how it actually works. What we've done is, in an attempt to try to get as many new citizens engaged in these committees, we've done some different things. And we've tried to promote that amongst the council as much as possible, and they've been very graciously supportive of this effort. Here's what we've done. First of all, on every opening of any citizen committee that's out there, what we do is we put that on the Argus Leader, as well as we promote that through a media release in hopes that they will also help us get the word out there. We've also done a fairly aggressive job to try to let other people know that these opportunities do exist. As Councilor Entman just relayed, you don't get paid anything, but we do welcome folks to serve their city. There's about 40 or 50 different citizen boards that are out there in the committee, in the community, and they're open to anybody to serve. All you have to do is you just go to www.siouxfalls.org, and you'll find a form there. It doesn't ask you whether you're rich or you're poor, whether you're black or white, whether you're a woman or whether you're a man. It basically just asks, are you interested in improving your community? And then it lists all the boards that are there, and so that you can pick the ones that you indeed are interested in. Once it is done, if there is a board opportunity or committee opportunity that comes into place, here's what we do. First of all, we engage the committee that is already formed, and we ask them to evaluate all of the people who have applied for that board. And then they provide recommendations to the mayor, and then what I do is I'll evaluate those. In some cases, for example, some people may want to reapply and stay on that committee. And if they're allowed to through another term, we'll find that out. But this committee may also say, no, but there's some other good names on here, and here's some of the names that we would recommend. What I do is I get those then, and then I'll review them as well. And I think I've been incredibly clear when I was running for mayor, and I mean this from my heart. I have tried to diversify these committees as much as I can. I'm trying to add younger people. I'm trying to add people of diversity. I'm trying to add people that have not been on these committees before. And I think we've been pretty successful in making that happen. What I'll do is I will submit then my recommendation to the council. And as I don't know if you've stayed long enough, Mr. Stenga, but what we'll do is prior to voting on those, we will read those to the people of Sioux Falls, as well as then the council does have the opportunity to debate that, or to recommend yes or to recommend no. For the most part, to be fair, they have recommended yes votes. Now, but there have been some differences of opinion. I know Councilor Jameson has disagreed with a couple of appointments in the past, and I know that there's been others. But to say that we're not trying to make this an open process for the people of Sioux Falls is incredibly unfair. It's not a correct statement in any way, shape, or form. And I think, as was said to me just the other day, no good deed goes unpunished. I think that what this council has tried to do, what this mayor has tried to do, is to make it more open to regular Joes, as you put it, Mr. Stenga, and I think we've been incredibly successful for that. If there is anyone who wants to apply for a citizen board or a citizen committee, please go to www.siouxfalls.org and apply. I can't guarantee you that you're going to have the opportunity to serve, but we'll certainly give it a shot, and then we'll go from there. So I do thank you for that opportunity to actually explain how it really works versus as was explained tonight by one of the citizens of Sioux Falls.
I would now entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. So moved. Moving adjournment.
Second, Anderson.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilors Anderson?
Yes.
Brown?
No.
Entman?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
No.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Aguilar?
Yes. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.